Good morning, all my creative friends. Welcome to my Facebook Live. It looks to be a beautiful day here in Tennessee today. It is sunny. We're in the 80s. The humidity's down. We're not even getting close to 90s. So woo, woo. Anyway, welcome to my July free virtual card class. So it's held in August, but it is the class for the kits that you would have earned in July. Everyone is welcome to join me and see the cute little projects that we put together today and we make. But if you ordered from me with a qualifying order in the month of July, which is any order over $50, you should have received a free card kit, project kit in the mail from me so that you can craft along with me if you like. Also, this video will remain here. It'll stay up in my video library indefinitely. So if you can't watch today live, which I heard several of you could not, you can always come back and watch later. It is Monday, August 12th, 2024, and I'm happy to be here with you. My name is Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 27 years now, and I love what I do. If you are hopping on, please say hi and let me know you're watching. If you catch me on the replay, let me know that also. I love to know that you were here. Also, if you can share this video. Hi, Francis. Glad you find me. Hi, Marie Redden. Good to see you. If you can share this video, that really helps me as a small business owner to get my videos out there and for other people to see them. So if you can do that, I really appreciate that so much. Hi, Karen. Glad you're here. Let's see what else I want to tell you. I think that is it. Let's take you down to the table. So I'm going to turn you around. You'll see my gorgeous sunshine and greenness out there. And I am going to reload my video so I can see me here, hopefully on screen, and make sure I'm in the right place. And there it is. Of course, I'm delayed, so I can't really tell, but it looks like it's about in the right place. So this is me, Maureen Rolfes. You can find my blog at crazystampinglady.blogspot.com, my email at crazystampinglady@gmail.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/crazystampinglady, and that is where you are right now. My YouTube is under my name, Maureen Rolfes, and you can shop with me at stampingwithmaureen.stampinup.net. If you shop with me in the month of August, please use my hostess code. That gets me the most benefits for your order, allows me to earn extra that I can give back to you as rewards and gifts and prizes, and that just makes me happy. So I appreciate it so much if you do that. Okay, couple things going on I'm going to go through quick. It is redemption time. Bonus days redeeming goes on all of August. So if you earned any bonus day coupon codes in the month of July, please redeem those on an order in the month of August. You can redeem one or as many as you have up to the value of the order you're placing. So if you had $30 in coupons but only purchased $25, it's not going to let you use that last one. You'll have to put that on another order. So just be aware of that. But do not forget to redeem those. Designer Series paper sale is going on and going strong. 15% off of these selected Designer Series paper in the annual catalog. And there are some gorgeous ones. My order is supposed to be here today. I have several of them that I ordered that I didn't have, so I'm excited about that. It'll automatically take the 15% off. And if you go online and look at Designer Series paper online, it'll show you, because you will see the ones that have a reduced price right now. So you'll know those are the ones on sale. Free monthly card class and kits. That is what's happening right this moment. If you place an order with me in the month of August using the hostess code that I showed you, a $50 order will get you 3 free card kits, 75 3 free card kits, and a bonus project, and 100 will get you those 3 free card kits, a bonus project, and a half a pack of an embellishment. Any order smaller than that will still receive a handmade card from me as a thank you. And all of my orders for the month will go in my drawing for my prize drawing on September 1st, where I will draw for 3 lucky winners and send them out a prize. My September kits, if you purchase this month, you will have earned them in August. They will get mailed by September 1st. Our online class for September for the August kits will be on Monday, September 9th at 11 a.m. So be sure to get your orders in. Like I said, the orders that we're doing, or the projects we're doing today, were for the July orders. They change every month. And because they are a free thank you kit from me, they are mostly retired product, but you can still use all the ideas with current product that we have. Annual catalog is going strong. I still have not received my mini catalog, although most demonstrators have. So hopefully soon, maybe today, I have my fingers crossed. And when I get that, I'll be able to share some stuff out of there with you. But right now, we still have our annual catalog. So do not forget about that in the excitement of the new catalog. Okay, we're going to go through these pretty quickly. My projects for this class are usually quick and easy. I'll show you the project. We'll put one together and we'll move on to the next. So here is project number 1. So thankful for you. So on these kits, when I mail them out to you, I cannot include any stamped images. So your sentiment will not be stamped. You can stamp any sentiment that you wish right there. The sentiment that I stamped is so thankful for you, and that is from the So Sincere stamp set right here. And I stamped it in Pebbled Path to match my card. So just to give you all that information in case you want to duplicate it. Let's get out the parts for that card. So everything should be in here that you need. Make sure you get everything out of the card because sometimes things stick in there. I did not put a sentiment on the inside of mine, mainly because I can't stamp it for you. So I thought, why do more stamping than necessary? I'm just going to come in here with the large rectangle of white. And we're going to place that on the inside of the card so that you have a place to write, because the Pebbled Path is just a little too dark for writing on the inside. Now, if you want to add a sentiment or other images to that, of course, feel free. These are your cards. You do not even have to make them the way I make them. I want them to be your cards. So if you change them up, that is totally fine with me. And if you do change them up and have a really cute idea on how you did that, just post it here in the comments of this video. I would love to see what you did with these card kits. Okay, so I'm just using seal. I am taking my Pebbled Path rectangle and placing it centered onto my basic white rectangle. And this is going to go onto the front of the card centered. All right, let's see if I can get that centered pretty well. All right, just like that. And then in your kit, you should have a bunch of little strips of Designer Series paper. These were last year's Designer Series paper packs, but the colors are still current, so that's pretty cool. You should have 6 different, well, not 6 different ones, but 6 strips, and no color should repeat probably more than once. So I have 2 pinks. You could have 2 pinks and 2 blues or whatever, but I tried not to repeat them too much. These strips are 4 inches by a ½ inch approximately, but some of them were just scraps, so they might be a little bit off, but it does not matter for the way we're going to put them on our cards. One side on mine has polka dots and the other side has these stripes, so you can use whatever you like on your card. You may have the other pattern in here that had hearts on one side and little kind of sketchy lines on the other. Again, you can use whichever one that you want on your card. So since I have 2 of the pink, which are not really pink, they're Moody Mauve, I'm going to place my first one using that so I can kind of spread them out on my card. And we're just going to use a random strippy technique. So I'm going to place my first one here, coming off the edge of my rectangle, my pebbled path rectangle here a little bit, and coming up pretty close to the edge, but at an angle. Now, I'm going to overlap these just a little bit as I go. By doing that, you'll see if you do it just a little bit, and let's see if I can kind of place these to give you an idea, that they're just going to fill up that space pretty well. And when you get to the last couple, if you need to spread them out a little bit more, you can do that. So they're just going to go on here, random. I'm not going to worry too much. I kind of just laid them there so I could get a feel of the placement that I wanted. So I'm going to go up with this one a little bit more and off of the top, maybe just slightly up here. We'll take our wheat and place that one. This is a great way to get rid of all of those extra scraps you might have sitting around from your designer series papers. It just really can fill up a space, give you a beautiful background, and you don't have to waste all those little strips. So I love that. And again, up and down, or you can even, I'm going to go down just a little bit more with this one even, like that. Now you all should have a pebbled path strip in your kit, hopefully, because I wanted it to match the base and pull that all together. So I think everyone got one of those. And then I'm down to my last couple here. I'm going to place the pink and then the blue. So if you need to lay them out first, go ahead. If you need to just kind of tack them down until you're sure where you want to place them, that is fine. I've done enough of these that I don't worry about it because it does not have to be perfect. I do want some of my pebbled paths showing on the edge there. So that is the little background on here. I'm going to stamp my sentiments. So let me grab my strip of basic white and that So Thankful for You sentiment in my pebbled path ink. And we're just going to come in here and stamp this. And I'm stamping it over to the right side, leaving about maybe a finger's width of space beyond it. But I want to be able to add my leaves to the left side that are in your kit. So I'm stamping it over to the right a bit. If I can get this to close. Oh, and you know what? I have it out. I'm just going to do it. I'm also going to stamp my envelope because otherwise I have to take it all back out and ink it again. And I'm too lazy for that, right? So let's put it on there right now. So there is my envelope. Now I can close this up and move it out of the way. And there's my envelope. Let's bring our card back down and my pebbled path strip. Now these are exactly the same length or should be very close. You know, they are cut by a human. So if they're a little bit longer, just center it so they're evenly off the edge. If they're a little bit shorter, center it so you have an even space on the end. And this is going to go all the way across the card. But I don't want these ends glued down. I just want to glue it in the middle so that they kind of stick up and give your card a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to place my finger here, take my seal, go down this, and leave about a finger's width at the end also so that it sticks up, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. This is going to come across, and I want all of my colors to show below it. So I'm just going to evenly lay that against the side of my card and make sure that my colors are showing down here, which they are. Then I'm going to take my So Thankful. Whoops, same thing. Nope, this one can go all the way across. Sorry. So Thankful can get glue all the way across because it's going to go onto that pebbled path strip. And I'm going to do the same thing and come over here. I am putting it even on the left because mine is just about the right length, and leaving a little bit of a pebbled path border top and bottom, just like that. Then in your kit, you should have gotten one of these die cut leaves, as well as a little linen thread bow pre-tied for you. And we're going to add this over here to the side. Now when you're placing it, you just want to be sure it's not coming past the edge of your card, because you don't want it to get caught in your envelope or not be able to go into the envelope. So I'm going to come in here, and you can see I want my top and my bottom to be off of this center part. So I am only going to put glue like in this little section right here. So I'm going to put a finger again for the bottom, come in here, and start placing some little bitty glue dots with my liquid glue, and just making sure I have enough of them on there. Whoops, that one's kind of gooey, so I'm going to spread it out to hold it. You do not need a lot. Tombow is super sticky, and once it dries on there, you are good to go. So I'm just placing glue kind of right between those sections. That's the only part that's going to touch my card. And then we're going to come in here, and I'm going to bring it over so that it doesn't cover my sentiment. You can see it does not, but it also does not go off the edge of my card, just like that. Now, it might be different on yours depending upon where you've placed your sentiment. And then I'm going to take my little bow, and we're going to add that right here. And I'm putting mine on here on that little pebbled path section between the leaves right at the top. Just a dab of the Tombow glue. I keep my Tombow glue in just a little shot glass, so it's really close and handy, and it's upside down, so my glue is always at the tip. Just going to place that right there in the middle on that glue. And that's our card, guys. Card number 1 is done. So thankful for you. All done. So I'm going to move this one out. So you can see the first one I made in this one. You know, every time you do it, it's a little different. So the placement of my strips are a little different. On this one, I had my leaves up a little higher. On this one, I brought them down a little lower. There's no right or wrong. Make your card the way it looks good to you. Card number 1 is done. Card number 2. It's like, come on down on The Price is Right, but it's not. Is our Hip Hip Hooray card. So again, I could not stamp for you, but on my card, I used the Hip Hip Hooray and the Happy Birthday on my envelope from the Round We Go set. And this is another great set with some fun birthday type celebration sentiments. So I really, really like it. I also love that it has a to and from tags. And yeah, so, and this is your day, this is your year, this is your month. That is pretty awesome. So it's a great little set, but that's where I got my sentiments for this. And I did not put any layer on the inside because it's basic white, but I also stamped that happy birthday on the inside of my card in case I forget to do that as we're putting it together. So in your kit, you will receive all the pieces. Your little animal that was fussy cut might be a different animal. So on here I have armadillo carrying a little package. The package was pink, so I just grabbed my Granny Apple green marker and went over it to color it and make it more green so that it matched the green on my card. You don't have to do that. It looked fine the way it was. I think it was actually kind of a peachy if I remember. But I didn't have the same animal for every card, so different people are going to get different ones. On mine here, I have the little raccoon. If I wanted to, I could color his body, but I'm just going to leave him black and white the way he is. And then this one already has some green in his balloon, so I'm not worried about coloring anything to make it match my card better. So we're just going to put this one together. The circle that I punched out with my punch right here was punched out of the black layer on your card. So that is not a mistake. That is a good use of your cardstock if you punch out right out of the middle. And this was a, I can't remember, 2 1/4 or 2 3/8 inch circle. And then I also cut out a piece of Designer Series paper. And this was a 2-inch circle. Has a little frog on the back, but I'm going to be using this polka dot section on my card. So this card goes horizontal, although you could change it up and make it go vertical if you wanted. And I'm just going to put some seal on the corners of my black piece. Now that black hole in there is going to get completely covered up, so no one will know that it's even there. After we put that on, we're going to get our Granny Apple green. And you do want to put this circle toward the bottom. I guess I should have mentioned that. Or you could switch it up if you did put it toward the top and move your whole layer up and then put your Hip Hip hooray at the bottom, that would work just as well. So there's not a right or wrong again. And I'm coming down just being sure that I completely cover that circle. So that was why I came down more to the bottom. I'm leaving maybe 1/4 inch or so of the black, and that's going to give me enough room to put my sentiment up here. Now, as I said, if you had put that circle toward the top on your card, let me just open this a little bit, toward the top, you could just have it different. You could have it like this and then put your sentiment down here, and that would work also. So don't worry if you did that. We're going to come in here on the back of this kind of sketchy black and white piece. Now this is from, I don't even remember the name of this paper. Was it Zany Zoo? It might have been Zany Zoo. It is retired now, but I still have some of it. I love it. I love that it has the black and white patterns on the back. I use those for lots of things. So we're just layering the black, the Granny Apple Green, and that kind of little blotchy black and white piece of Designer Series paper. I'm going to stamp my Hip Hip Hooray right in the middle of the little banner I gave you, the little piece of basic white rectangle. I try to do it toward the center and straight, although on camera that does not always work perfect, but not too bad. Hip Hip Hooray. And then I'm going to use my snips to just flag each end of this. So I'm just going to come in on the end, come right down the center, and then in from each corner to that peak. And take that out and have that little flagged end on there. Now, I don't like this. I didn't do it quite the angle I want, so I'm just going to do it just slightly different up to that thing. I don't think I got it all the way there. Much better. Okay, let's do the other end same way. Come in right down the middle. You're trying to do them pretty even, but they do not have to be perfect or perfection, so don't worry about that. All right, so there is my little sentiment layer. And we're going to put that down using the seal. And I'm going to center it top to bottom, side to side in that space above my lower section, which it looks like I got that a little over to one side, but I don't think anyone's going to care or even notice. And if they do, you know my sentiment, my deep, deep feelings that if they ever complain about a card being off-centered or not right, that's the last card they're probably going to get from me. So, okay, so here is our polka dot piece. We're going to layer that onto the black circle. And then I'm going to pop this entire piece up on dimensionals. So when you get your card kit, you are going to need the basic adhesives. I would say you want to have seal or some type of tape runner. You want to have liquid glue. You want to have glue dots, and you want to have dimensionals, because that's basically the only thing I use. Every now and then I will use the tear and tape. So that is another good adhesive to have on hand, but it's not used very often for my kits, unless we're making a 3D project that has a movable piece on it or something. Okay, so I'm going to try to center this again, top to bottom, side to side on that DSP underneath it, just like that. And then I'm just going to take my little raccoon and adhere him. I am going to put him so that the balloons come up off the top, but I don't want them covering my sentiment, but I am going to put them off the top. So I'm basically just going to put the glue on the back of the part that won't be on the back of the part that will be on the circle. So think about that when you're doing it. It wouldn't matter so much, but if you had glue up here at the top, when this goes through the mail, it might get squished down and then it's going to stick down, and I just don't like that look as well. So there is my little raccoon on there saying hip hip hooray, and I will put the happy birthday on the inside and on the envelope just like I did on this one, but I'm not going to do that right now because you're going to put your own sentiment anyway. So hip hip hooray. Boy, I really put this whole thing over to the left. I'm not sure why I did that. My hip hip hooray isn't centered either. Huh. I must be leaning toward the left today, which is not my normal tendency. Let me see if I can pull this one up and just move it over a little bit more to the right. That's gonna drive me bananas. Okay, let's try this again. Kind of centered up here to the top. I think this is a little better. All right, that is a little better. Okay, so that is that card, guys. Yours will have whatever little animal you happen to have in your kit. Let's move those. And we have animals all the time, either animals that you can stamp and cut out or animals in our DSP. So this card could be recreated with any of those. Okay, our third card is right here. And again, it's on a white base. I didn't put anything on the inside of this one. It probably would be a birthday card because it says hope your day is a happy one, but it wouldn't necessarily have to be. It could just be on the inside thinking of you, that we're hoping it's happy. So at this point, I didn't put anything on the inside at all. And then I also stamped that sentiment onto my envelope. This sentiment is also from the So Sincere. Hope your day is a happy one. So this is a great set of sentiments. I really love them. You're in my thoughts and prayers just for you. Hope you're feeling better soon. Be grateful for what you have. Be proud of who you are. Just love spending time with you. There is some wonderful sentiments in this set. So for this card, and again, remember, I don't expect you to put your cards together completely while you're watching me. I go through it pretty quickly. But most of you come back and watch anyway, so I think that works. I know when I do anything like this and try to craft along, it's never at my pace, so I'm not even going to worry about doing that. Inside of your card, you have a lot of little pieces. You have a basic white base, and then a piece of, not Calypso Coral, what on earth is this? I should know this color offhand. It is Petal Pink. A piece of Petal Pink, and we're just going to center that onto our card front. And that is going to go on here. Unfortunately, I didn't write down what I got that die for the butterfly from. It's one of our current dies, I think, and I didn't write it, and I don't remember. That punched out this or cut out this cute little butterfly. So I'll have to maybe put that in the description later because I can't remember which one it was. I'm going to come in here. That isn't real straight, so let me straighten it again just a little bit. I used to be able to get my cards straight all the time, and lately as I get older, I notice I am not as good as that. So now it's going crooked the other way. Okay, we're just going to make believe. Nah, I'm not. I'm not going to make believe. That's going to drive me nuts. I can't make believe that's straight. I just can't. So bear with me, guys. Good thing these cards go together fast if I could just get them straight, right? See about that. That is better. We're going to go with that. And then you have 3 strips of basic black in there. These are 1 inch by 4.5. And you're going to place these onto the Petal Pink, kind of spaced like that. So if you lay them down, you get an idea of how much space you want on each side of them. And I'm just going to put a strip of seal down the middle. And I'm going to start with this side, top to bottom, and leaving a border on the side like that. And then I'm going to do the one on the other side with that strip, top to bottom, leaving about that same amount of border. And then that makes it the easiest for me then to come in and center this one between the 2 of them. So if they were a little more in, this border might be a little thinner, but that doesn't really matter. But that's the best way I've found for spacing them and having them look pretty good. So we're going to place this one right down the middle like that. And then in your kit, you should have 3 pieces of butterfly paper. They're just kind of random, so they may not go together in an order, but we're just going to place these onto our black strips, centered. This is, I think, one of our celebration papers from a year or 2 ago. Can't remember, and I didn't even know I had any more of it. and I was going through some old paper packs and found it stuck in there. I loved this when this came out. I hope if I go through more, I find more, because it is such pretty paper, both sides of it. And I love butterflies. So just lay them down and see which order you want to put yours in that you think they look the best. They do have a right or wrong, so you do want to make sure your butterflies are mostly going up and down the right way, but a lot of them do go to the side. So if you did place it upside down, no one would probably ever really even be aware of it. Okay, so there's our little butterfly strips. Yeah, I didn't write down my dies on here. I do not know how I didn't do that. I try to write down everything I use so I can tell you. I'm going to have to look this up and see what dies. I think they may have come from the same one, what die these were from. Not sure. So we're going to use that sentiment. Hope your day is a happy one. Out of the So Sincere. And I'm going to stamp that with Memento ink onto this little tag. And let's see if I can get it on here pretty straight and centered. Just like that. So like I said, I love the sentiments in this set. I'm going to do it on my envelope right away too, since I have it out, and it's what I did on my other envelope. So we'll get that on there right away. And now I can get my Memento ink out of here, along with that stamp. Okay, so for this card, I just took this little label and put it at an angle. I came up a little from the bottom with this corner and a little in almost to the edge of where my butterfly stamp is over, butterfly layer is over here, and just laid it on the card. So I'm just gonna come in here with some seal. We're gonna place that. It does not have to be perfect. So you place it where you want to have it on yours. But I like the angle. I think it gave it a little bit of character. And then I took my butterfly and I just curved up the wings using my fingers. Ooh, I hope I put your gems in your pack. Huh. Oh, well, yep, they're in here. I see mine. Mine are just hiding. So be sure you double check your envelope if you don't see them. They do hide down in the corners and the sides. So there's my gems. And for this one, I am going to take my butterfly, curve the wings up. I am going to take a dimensional and put it right behind the top of the body. And I'm going to use 2. So you could just use 1, or you could use liquid glue. But I find that if you just have 1, sometimes your butterfly will kind of rotate on it, and I don't want that. If there's any glue showing off the body, I'm just going to take my fingernail and kind of roll that in. So it's all behind the body of this butterfly. And then curve those up again. There's a little bit at the bottom still showing. And we're going to lay this right on top of this tag. Now I'm covering this beautiful little edge down on here, which is kind of sad, but it gave me the perfect landing place for my butterfly. So that's where I'm putting it. And then I'm going to take the gems that are in my kit and place them on the body of the butterfly to give it just a little bit of sparkle and whimsy. Just like that. I had a little piece of plastic. There it is. Get rid of that. And that is card number 3. All done. How cute. Love, love, love these. Okay, all simple, all easily reproduced layouts. So I hope you're enjoying them too. Now our bonus project for this month is a little matchbook Post-it note cover. I did not put a sentiment on it, although you could, but I carry one of these in a little pocket on my purse, and any sentiment I thought would just be really easy to fall off. But if you wanted to give these to people, like for an event, you could give it and say Happy Mother's Day and have them at place settings, or have a great day, or thinking of you. Also, this paper, this lavender paper, is just so beautiful that I didn't want to cover it up too much, so I did not. So this piece of cardstock that we're going to use for the matchbook starts out as 3 1/4 by 7.5, and then I score it at 3/4 and again at 4.25. Now I don't give these measurements in the description, and I don't do a PDF for this free class. So the measurements are usually pretty simple, and if you have a question on any of them, you can always drop me an email, send me a private message, or ask in the comments and I will answer you. But again, this is 7.5 as it starts out. You're going to score it at 3/4 and again at 4.5. I already folded the 3/4 end up for you so I could put the staple in. That's going to hold your flap. You're going to want to use a bone folder or something to crease the other score line well, just like that. And then I gave you, I think these are all 3x3. Yeah, 3x3 pads of paper. Now yours will be stuck to a piece of acetate. You can just pull that off. I just wanted that so as it shipped, it didn't stick to anything. I'm going to come in here and stick my Post-it notes in here and just kind of bring them close to that seam at the top and center it side to side. But you don't want it going over that seam. Now your Post-it notes should be lavender or purple colored. I didn't have any more, so I'm using some of these that I had printed years ago to put in here. And I think you have 20 Post-it notes. This is really a fun way to give a lot of people a cute little gift because I didn't give everyone a full pack. It's just 20. And in all honesty, if you're carrying this in your purse, by the time you're done with those 20, it's usually not in really great shape anymore and you're ready to make another one. But they're so easy to make and put in your purse that I would say do not worry about that too much. And then we're going to come in here and decorate it with the little strips that are in your kit. So I'm going to use my long thin strip of crumb cake. Now this piece is 5/8 inch by 2 7/8 inch. And we're going to come in here and I'm going to put it on here and cover that staple. Now I am going to give you a hint if you make more of these in the future. I actually should have stapled it the other way so that this little rough edge would be covered and the smooth edge would be on the back. But I didn't realize it until I had done them all. But that way you don't have to worry about this at all catching in your purse or something. So if you're making these for someone, think about that and staple them the other directions so your smooth edge is on the back because that rough edge will be covered up. I'm going to come in here and use my Designer Series paper and center that onto the middle of that crumb cake layer. Just like that. And then I'm going to flip it. It's just easier for me to put this on with it flipped over. So I'm flipping it over. I'm going to take my other crumb cake square. I think it's a square. This piece is, yeah, 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So it is a square. And we're going to add that to the center of our front of our little Post-it note holder. And then I have a piece of Designer Series paper. And this Designer Series paper is, I think I wrote the measurement, but I just want to double check it, is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And that is what I wrote down, but I just wanted to be sure. Yes, it just leaves a little border around it. So 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. The cardstock is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. Come in here and lay that right on there like that. And then this is done. You can just tuck this little flap down underneath where the staple is. When you're placing that staple, you want to place it pretty close to the bottom because you want this flap to come in here and go all the way in there flat. So don't put it up too high. You're just putting it just only about as high as you can to get it completely on the cardstock. So I hope that makes sense. And then there's the cute little Post-it holders. Aren't they adorable? So easy to make. What a fun little gift to give. You could tuck them into a birthday card you were sending someone. You'd probably have to put extra postage. But it's just adorable. And actually, if you laid it flat, it would not leave even too much dimension on the card. You could even reduce the number of Post-its in there down to 10 if you wanted to make it a little less thick. if that's what you'd like to do. But I love them. I think they are so cute. And if you, so this was the bonus project with a what? With a $75 purchase. Sorry guys, sometimes my brain just goes out for a while. If you purchased $100 from me last month, you would have also got the bonus embellishment that was sent out. And I've got to admit right now, I do not remember what that was for this kit. This was the July kit. I think it might have been, I'm honestly not sure. I don't know which one it was, but I did send out a half a pack of an embellishment to everyone who purchased $100 or more in the month of July for the August class. So I hope that makes sense. Sorry, my brain is not working on that either. I should have written that down, but did I? Probably somewhere, but who knows where. So anyway, that's that little thing. So this is the little kit you would have received. Oh, here I even have them in here. Everyone this month got a half a pack of the pebbled enamel pieces. So I'm glad I kept that in there to remind myself. But I love these. I really think they turned out cute. So I hope you like them too. Thank you for taking the time to be with me today. If you enjoyed today's class, just be sure to order from me in the month of August in order of at least $50 or more and use my hostess code, and you will get the kit that you can put together in the month of September with us. Please be aware I only send one kit per customer. So if you place a couple orders during the month, I will send you the kit for the highest amount order you placed. So be aware of that. As always, I would love to be your creative coach and demonstrator. If you have any questions at all or would like a catalog, sorry about that. Oh, I got a tickle. Please reach out to me in the comments of this video or by email at crazystampinglady@gmail.com. I do plan to be back here tomorrow, Tuesday, August 13th, at my normal 10:30 a.m. Central Time slot for my regular Facebook Live, and we will have some more creative fun. I hope you'll join me then. See you soon. Bye-bye.